Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence.
Here are today's top headlines. A lawsuit could ban the Toyota Prius from the American market. GM's chairman gives GM management 12 weeks or else. And Audi of Americas president calls the Chevy Volt a car for idiots. Up next, we'll fill you in on all those details. This is Autoline Daily for Friday, September 4th, 2009, episode 222. And now the news. Even more trouble for Toyota. Bloomberg reports that a company called Paice claims that Toyota violated its patents for hybrids and is seeking a ban on all imports of the Prius and other Toyota hybrids into the United States. Before you think this is crazy, Paice sued Toyota for 5 counts of patent infringement in 2005 and won on 3 of them. Paice was founded by Russian inventor Alex Severinsky and several retired auto executives from General Motors, Ford, and the Robert Bosch Company. In fact, I interviewed these people on Autoline Detroit 9 years ago. You can find that interview in our archives. It's show number 528, and while the video is lousy, the audio is okay. Hey, fascinating article in today's Detroit Free Press. Tom Walsh reports that GM Chairman Ed Whitacre is telling GM executives they've got 12 weeks to show significant progress in sales, market share, and profitability, or heads will roll. That would seem to put Mark LaNeve, the head of sales, in the crosshairs, and it also puts enormous pressure on GM Chief Executive Officer Fritz Henderson and Chief Financial Officer Ray Young. Another twist in the drama over the sale of Opel. According to the AP, Opel's labor union threatened to withdraw all the concessions they've already agreed to if GM winds up keeping Opel. Essentially, what the union's telling GM is, if you don't sell us, we'll run you out of business. Johan Denissen, the president of Audi of America, is making waves over comments he made about the Chevy Volt. According to an article on MSN Autos, he dismissed the plug-in electric, calling it a car for idiots. He also said no one's going to pay a $15,000 premium for a car that competes with a Corolla. Ouch! Them's fighting words. He went on to predict that the Volt will be a flop and require government subsidies to sell. It's no secret Denissen is a big proponent of diesels, but who knew he had such contempt for electrics? And speaking of Audi, it just announced the pricing for its A3 front-wheel drive TDI diesel. Available in showrooms this November, it gets 30 miles per gallon in the city, 42 on the highway, and pricing starts at $30,775, which sounds pretty pricey to me. A lot more news leaks coming out just prior to the Frankfurt Motor Show. Volvo is set to unveil an updated C70 convertible. The drop-top features a restyled body and a new instrument panel with more luxurious materials and details. Citroën will show off its new DS3 Super Mini. The car focuses on style through personalization. Drivers can customize their DS3 with things like unique roof trim and mirror housings, while inside they can choose fabric colors, dashboard appliques, and more. It's sort of like a French take on Scion, I guess. Lastly, Ford set to reveal the new C-Max. The compact MPV will advance the company's kinetic design theme and feature a brand new EcoBoost engine, a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder that Ford showed in the Lincoln Concept C at the Detroit Auto Show last January. Coming up next, a preview of this week's episode of Autoline, where we argue about the merits of the Cash for Clunkers program.
Changing tires out here could be dangerous, but with these tires, I don't need to worry.
Bridgestone.
On this week's episode of Autoline Detroit, we dove into the latest sales figures to try to get to the bottom of whether the Cash for Clunkers program really did what it was supposed to do. We'll show you a little clip of that, picking up the discussion with Keith Naughton from Bloomberg and Drew Winter from Ward's.
And a side benefit of Clunkers is it completely drained the inventories on dealer slots.
Certainly small cars.
Oh my gosh, Ford said they have something like 36 days supply. So you're not going to have the sort of incentives to move the metal because there's no metal to move. and you're going to need to increase production and put more people on the line. So
that's where the whole Clunkers program really worked, right? It's going to put people back to work in that regard.
For now, anyway.
That's my head was ready to explode when I started seeing some of these headlines where, cash for Clunkers helped Ford but didn't help GM, didn't help Chrysler or whatever. Wait a minute. We know here in flyover land that, GM has put back a shift at Lordstown, Ohio, small car plant. There's 1,300 people in northern Ohio going back to work. That's going to have ripple effects. We've got folks, piles of overtime in Dearborn making Ford Focuses. We've got everybody, Ford F-150s. There's a lot of factories all across America. Then supplier factories that are all going back to work now because of cash for Clunkers. And it's going to take them months to fill up that pipeline again. So they've got more work at least for a couple of months. And we need that stimulus now, here, not 6 months from now.
You can watch the entire show, which includes Rebecca Lindland from IHS Global Insight at AutolineDetroit.tv right now. Woohoo! It's Friday, which means it's time to announce the winner of this week's trivia contest. We challenged you to tell us the name of the old Chrysler, the one that's got all the bad assets and is still in bankruptcy. And the correct answer is Old Carco. That's what they call it, Old Carco. And this week's winner is Bob Clark of Enfield, Connecticut. Congratulations, Bob. You just won a Nissan Xterra t-shirt. That wraps up this show, and for those of you watching in the U.S., have a safe Labor Day holiday weekend. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.